This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised as some cases contain graphic content. We mean no disrespect to anyone we discuss in this podcast except our exes. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. However, we will be expressing our personal opinions. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Hey guys, it's Cynthia.
And I'm Wes, and this is Love and Luminol, a true crime podcast.
Yay! And today we're going to discuss Bill Sparkman.
Bill Sparkles?
Sparkman Jr., Jr.
So he's Little Sparkles.
Yeah, it's local. It's in our Quad State area.
Okay.
Cinco State area, whatever. Hell if I know.
Quinta quadruple.
Yep. So, you ready for this one?
All right, let's do it.
Yay.
Okay, we did it.
No, we didn't.
The end.
That was a short one. But this is definitely a weird one.
It's definitely a weird one.
Where do I start?
Are you sure it's a weird one?
All right, well, first we got to do some shout outs.
We do.
Yes, we had some comments. Thank you guys for the interactions.
You people and your
Oh,
comments.
Shucks, you love it. You love bantering back and forth with
I
people.
do. But
You like
I
to
was
chat
nice.
and-
I was
yeah.
nice, though.
Yeah, you like to chat, gather information, get to know people.
Yeah.
You're like a, what do they call those? A debater.
A master debater.
Sure. But I'll read them because you can't see from that far.
No, my contacts are a little blurry right now, so I can't see the screen, even though it's about 2 feet in front of me.
And I can kind of see it. I need to go to the eye doctor. I ain't been since like high school. I probably can't see. They're probably like, you're colorblind. Anyway, I'll start with the comment from and I apologize if I pronounce any of this wrong. It's Demar Thomas 445. And he said, this was on the Chris Benoit video you did.
Yeah.
Case you did. There's a lot of people that find it hard to believe that he did all this. I truly believe someone murdered him. The text, dogs in the backyard, the doors. I guess the dogs in the backyard guard the doors?
I think I think he's referencing the text about the dogs being in the back and the doors being unlocked.
Never mind. I read
Which I
read that wrong.
I thought that was really strange too, but some people thought that was more like when people commit suicide and they leave a suicide note or they want people to find them, that was the way that he did it. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's a weird story.
I knew someone that unfortunately did take her own life. And before that, she would tell people like, hey, don't forget I have a cat in the house. Or, hey, here, you can have this plant. Like she's giving plants away. She set out a bunch of food for a cat and told people like, hey, I have a cat at the house.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I had a friend in high school that
did that. Yeah.
committed suicide. And before he did, he was giving things away and telling people stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
food, perishables, things.
Yeah. But thank you for your comment. Like I said, I personally tend to go with the more of the mainstream story that he did it, but I can see where a lot of the evidence is weird and it makes you question it. So, I mean, everybody's going to have their own opinions about it. I don't know 100%, but I tend to lean towards the story that he did it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. And this one's a long one, so I don't know. I might read it all. What the hell? And this is from @123 on a jet. Man, I wish. Shit. It says Chris Benoit was one of the most dedicated, hardworking, and talented wrestlers in the industry. His technical skill was crafted through his time with the Hart Foundation and his training in Japan. Oh. Mm-hmm. He really looked up to Dynamite Kid, and Dynamite respected the hell out of Benoit. In fact, Dynamite gave Benoit his boots when he exited pro wrestling. I told you I can't see.
Yeah.
The promoters and back office always overlooked Chris Benoit. He grinded it out every day and showed up with no excuses for 18 years until he was finally given the opportunity at WrestleMania 20. Chris Benoit did not have the motive to kill his wife and son. There are too many coincidences surrounding his death. This is a strong case that can be made for his innocence. There is a strong case, sorry.
I mean, like I said, I 100% agree on him as a wrestler. He's, like I said in the video, he's actually one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But again, I tend to believe that he probably did do it. I don't know. It may not been entirely his fault. It may have been due to head injuries and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But I do get, I'm telling you guys, I get that the evidence does make you wonder.
Yes.
There are pieces of it that make you go, wait a minute, that don't make sense. And I get it. And that happens with a lot of the cases that we go through.
Yeah,
there are a lot of cases that there are pieces of it where I'm like, that don't make no sense. There's no way that person did that. But when you look at the rest of it and put it all together, you're like, well, they could have. Like,
yeah, it's either way.
It's
we'll
hard.
never know for sure 100% because everyone that was there is no longer here. And the only thing that, I don't know, the only thing that bothers me about it is why take your family with you? If you wanted to go, just go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that bothers me. I don't know. That makes me want to lean more toward a mental health thing, just a crisis he was going through instead of because he wasn't just wanting to take himself out. He took them with him. And there's no reason to. So, but yeah, it was a very interesting case.
There's one more I have here. Can you read that name?
Yes, it is at AshDP8485.
Okay. Now, this person gave a comment about, during the Benoit case, me saying or a lot. Look, man, I don't really do the cases that often.
You don't.
I wasn't really 100% prepared. See, I'm doing ums now when I think. So it was what I had. Like, I was reading off papers that I could barely get. My contacts were going blurry. There was a lot of issues. So, I mean, I get that, and it's my fault. But that's just where it was at that time. She's better at going through it than I am. I like the banter. I like the back and forth. She's better at reading the cases and doing everything. So, yeah, that's going to happen if I do it. And I don't do it very often. So you're not going to have to worry about it that much.
I don't say. I feel like I say, I just don't say. I just sit here like, sometimes because I'm thinking.
There are some times where we're all going to sit there and go, and question and think about stuff. But I did it a lot because I wasn't used to doing it. And that's just me. As you can see right now, I'm not doing it that much. It's usually when I'm trying to read things and think about what I'm reading.
Yeah, it takes practice.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Thank you for the tip on that. I totally agree. Yes. But it's just... That's just what was going on.
I had a comment. I don't know who it's from. It's fine. I don't.
Well, but, the comment you're referencing that you're about to reference wasn't on our YouTube. It was a review on Apple Podcasts.
It was a review on the podcast. Someone commented and asked if I was falling asleep. And probably, honestly, we try to record these on days the kids are gone, and they're with their grandma. She now goes to church on Sunday mornings, so instead of taking them Saturday nights, she takes them overnight Fridays. And I work Fridays. I get up at 3 a.m. And it just so happens sometimes after we have our little date night, kid-free night, do our things, we'll be recording and we won't get done till like 2:30, 3 a.m. So I've been up for 24 hours trying to read these facts and I zone out and I'm like, I can't. And plus with like the little ADHD I have, if I sit still, I'm out. Like watching TVs and movies and stuff. If I don't move, I'm like, so sitting here listening to him and just kind of reading, I probably did look like I'm falling asleep.
Honestly, I'm surprised. Drunk. I'm surprised they didn't say I was because I've gone back and edited our video. I'm the one who edits the video. So I go back and watch them and I can see me going.
They probably think you're rolling your eyes at me.
And then I yawn. That's right, baby.
I just sit here like.
So
trying to keep my eyes open.
It's late at night, and I mean that it is what it is again.
Yeah, I apologize. I don't have narcolepsy or anything. I'm just being up for 24 hours. I'm dead tired at the end of this episode. I'm like, so I'm sorry.
It's all right.
If I start snoring, I'm sure he'll wake me up and edit it out. But so it's okay. I'm sorry. That's about it. But thank you guys for
thanks for the comments.
Commenting.
Like I said, we're not going to get pissed at you for telling us stuff. We just addressed it and told you what was going on. Like I said, that it's true. I said a lot of and ums, and
I fell asleep.
She was falling asleep. Sorry.
Probably. I'm sorry. I don't think that you're that boring. It's just I'm tired. All right.
But anyway, let's get to the case.
All right. It's a doozy. It's Bill Sparkman. His government name, William Sparkman Jr. He's 51 years old when he passed.
Old Sparky.
Old Sparky. And I have a picture of him here. Right there he is. Looks like a friendly fella.
Kind of reminds me of Where's Waldo.
Yeah, and especially in this outfit. But he looks so familiar to me.
He does.
And when it said local, I was like, I've seen him. And
he looks familiar.
But yeah. But also just a note, FYI, I run my pictures I find through my research through an app that's supposed to clarify, an AI app, because some of them are blurry pictures, screenshots on my phone, and it's supposed to blur them out. But sometimes the picture's so blurry that you got an eye up here, an eye down here. So if you see a picture and you're like, that guy's face is messed up, it's probably the program just got all that blurriness and thought his eye was higher than the other, or
I've never seen one do that.
I see yet. Especially one coming up where like they're farther away. The farther away they are, the worse it is.
Huh.
Like you can look at their face and be like, that's
as you can tell when
they're missing a nose.
As you can tell when I did the Chris Benoit episode, I did not do that.
I do.
Because there were some blurry ass photos in that case.
It's a gamble. Sometimes it works. This one it worked pretty good on, I think. And sometimes you're like, that's not a human. So don't worry.
It was aliens.
It's not how they actually look. It's just my program.
No, just say they're aliens. It's okay.
They're aliens. But he was born August 12th, 1958. Leo? Possibly Leo.
I don't know.
That's Leo month, so.
I don't know. If you say so.
His mother's name was Henry Sparkman.
His mother's name was Henry?
Yes, Henrie. Henry.
Interesting.
I know. That's cool. Of Inverness, Florida. So they were from Florida originally, or he was. She's
Florida man.
Yep, a Floridian. He was raised in Mulberry, Florida.
Mulberry?
Yep, and he's the oldest of 5 boys.
Wow.
Feel your pain, girl.
It's like our kids.
Yeah, feel your pain. Damn. Parents were a high school principal and a furniture company executive. And that's all it said. I couldn't tell who was what. Because I heard the both. Yeah, I don't know which parent. Yeah, because I heard both those jobs and I kept thinking, oh, the dad's the principal. I'm like, or the dad's the executive. I mean, it could.
The mom could easily be either of those two.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. So one parent was a principal, the other was an executive.
You need to stop with your sexist ideas.
I know.
You think the man is either the principal or the executive. You couldn't even think that the mother was. And I'm the one over here going, the mother could be either,
Well, that's why I hesitate. Because I was like, well, she could be either. But when I thought principal, the first thing popped in my head because, our kids have a male principal.
Yeah.
And then executive, I was thinking Christian
Grey.
But
when I grew up in school, I had a female principal.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So
I don't think I ever
can
did.
See it
no,
either
I
way.
never did. I don't think.
I can see it either way.
Yeah. But that executive, I thought Christian Grey. So both read male to me, but it could have been either one. Well, I bet she's executive because women are bosses. I bet she's executive. I don't know though. She has 5 boys. She's good with kids.
She could be a principal.
Either way,
I told you it could go either way.
Or whatever.
Anyway.
Or he could be both. We don't know.
He does both jobs.
He was an Eagle Scout and an altar boy. So a church boy and an Eagle Scout. I don't know. There's like Eagle Scouts, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts.
Yeah, I don't know all the
And then there's just Girl Scouts. So what are you guys doing?
There's brownies.
What is a brownie?
It's like a Girl Scout. There are a lot of different options.
I've never heard of a brownie, but I've heard of Cub Scouts. Like, I've heard of Girl Scouts, and that's all I've ever heard of. I've only heard of Girl Scouts. But then I've heard of Cub Scouts around here. Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts and Eagle Scouts.
Yeah.
But never brownies around here. I've never heard of a brownie.
Yeah, there's Girl Scouts and there's brownies.
Oh.
I think there's another one too.
Is there?
Yeah.
I'll say there's so much, and I don't know the difference between all of them.
I don't
Except
know
Cub
either.
Scouts, I know cost.
All I know is Girl Scouts got cookies.
Right.
That's all I know.
I'm pretty sure that one girl down the
Cookies
street,
I can't really
though,
eat no more.
was gypping me.
Why?
Because that little girl stopped by and she's like, "You want to buy some Girl Scout cookies?" I'm like, "Oh, how much?" She's like, $6 a box. Went to work and I got it for like $3 a box.
Damn.
It was that big. Yeah, her price was higher than the ones at work, and I'm like, she raised the price so she gets some tips. she's
making a
baller.
profit.
Yeah.
She's gonna be CEO of a furniture company.
Will be. She added her own tip in there. But so Mr. Bill, in high school, he wrote for the local weekly newspaper, the Mulberry Press, and was a football team manager, which I found was interesting, being an Eagle Scout to a football manager.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
both of them are kind of manly things.
True.
Football, outdoors, they all kind of go hand in hand.
True.
Probably drives
I was just
a
thinking
pickup
around
truck.
here. I was thinking around here, if you're in the Boy Scouts and you're out fishing and stuff, normally you don't do football. I don't know.
That's exact opposite what I would think.
I don't know what I'm
Everybody,
thinking then.
when I lived in Tennessee, everybody I knew that did like hunting and fishing and all that stuff were big football people.
Were they? I didn't see. I see like the basketball people being like the sports kids were always sports kids, and then you had the outdoorsy
But
four-wheelers hunting.
So I'm gonna
Like, they
probably
were two
upset
groups.
some people, but
So it was
when
weird.
I grew up in Tennessee, the football people were the rednecks,
Were they?
and the rednecks also hunted and went fishing and did all that other stuff too.
In this
so
little town, there's separate groups. They're like jocks and then rednecks, outdoorsy people. And so it was weird to me, but I guess
me, it
it
makes
could be
perfect
normal.
sense.
Yeah, I guess it's the area. And this is actually down south, so
it's
could
probably
be
closer
why,
to
yeah.
Tennessee, so it probably makes
it's
sense.
possible.
Where was this?
He lived in Florida, but this is in Kentucky.
Oh yeah, you said Florida. Oh,
Yeah,
this is
Clay
in
County,
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Yes, is where this happened.
Clay County, Kentucky. That is
Is it close to?
okay. That gets down there.
All right. So as an adult, he wanted to continue his work in Eagle Scouts. So he became a leader for the Boy Scouts of America. And I have a picture of him in his prime days there. Aw.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's exciting. I'm sure that was a lot of fun being outdoors and around all the kids.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
if you're into it.
Yeah.
I went to Boy Scouts, I think, for a year.
I was
I
in Girl
didn't-
Scouts.
I didn't really like it. Like, I mean, it was okay, but I didn't go back, so I
Oh.
must not have really liked it.
Must not have. But aw. I like Girl Scouts.
It was okay. I liked camping. I thought that was fun.
But that Boy Scout leader job took him to Atlanta, Georgia, and then to London, Kentucky in 1993. So you travel with that job,
I
which means he
guess.
probably moved pretty high up in the leadership role, I assume. If he's willing to travel to other places, I don't
So
know.
I'm going to guess he was the principal. Or no, it was his parents, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was his parents.
Ah, it threw me
Something-
off.
Yeah, but he inherited that love for children and helping children and stuff through that.
I was just going to say a principal can transfer as
Yeah.
opposed to a CEO of a furniture company is a CEO of a furniture company. So
Yeah,
no, but we're talking about parents. That's his parents, not him.
Because I know some things like 4-H, I know I volunteer for 4-H. I don't get paid, so I wouldn't move to do 4-H. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
True.
know if Boy Scouts of America pays or if it's a volunteer.
I don't know.
That's why I don't know how high up he got in the company or in the Boy Scouts, but
True.
it moved him to different states.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I would think
But-
that they get paid as much as they do, but
I would think.
you never know.
But he ended up in Clay County, Kentucky.
Poor guy.
Yeah, and let's say it's had its fair share of bloodshed.
Has it now?
Yes, because back in those days, the 1800s, there was rival families spanned national headlines in that town.
The Hatfields and the McCoys?
Yeah. No. The Philpotts and the Griffins were fighting.
Peter Griffin?
The Gerards and the Whites.
Don't know.
No.
I know the blacks and the whites.
They were probably fighting too.
They fought a lot.
Yeah. Bakers and Howards. My grandmother's main name was Baker.
Oh.
I wonder, yeah. I
Maybe you're involved in this.
That's some fighting back there. Bakers and Howards. So those were 3 wars going on between families. And they're huge wars. It made national headlines. Like other states were publishing articles about these rivals in this town.
In the 1800s?
Yeah. Actually.
Must have been not a lot of news during that time.
The New York Times published on November 26th of 1899, and this is from the article, it says, quote, "It is a strange, bloody story, this of Clay County's 2 recent feuds. Its ferocity, barbarity, and cruelty are appalling." So they actually wrote in the New York Times about this.
Slow news
There's
day.
some mafia battles going on down there. Lord.
Let's talk about these families down south feuding with each other. That's New York Times news right there.
In the 1900s, assassinations were common, especially during election time.
Oh.
There was a coal boom in the 1940s that brought some income and attention to the area. The coal mines were stripped down by the 1980s. They stripped them out because everyone was there getting it. And then marijuana had replaced coal as the region's most profitable export.
Interesting.
Is it even legal down there?
In Kentucky?
Yeah.
No.
No? Well, they're just growing it out there. Oh my. If anyone wants to know.
Just out in the backyard, you know.
So people were in there like, Clay County coal mine.
That's the key word right there. It's like code. We're going coal mining.
But Eastern Kentucky has been known for its moonshiners. So pot was a natural next step. Why not?
Makes sense. And we know that they have a moonshine thing because a lot of moonshine companies come from Kentucky.
But I laughed at this because
And
I know you don't like remakes, but the Dukes of Hazzard remake with Jessica Simpson, Willie Nelson is a moonshiner who also smokes pot. That's what they said.
Makes sense.
Moonshiners and pot. So I'm like, that's Willie Nelson from Dukes of Hazzard right there. Both, but I thought that was funny. But once in Kentucky, he adopted a son, which is so cool. And there's a little boy.
Oh, he's cute.
He is adorable. Of course, you see my app kind of blurred his face a little bit, but he is adorable.
Looks fine to me.
Yeah. His son's name was Josh Sparkman. So like, he got to name him.
Okay.
I don't know if that means he was young, a baby.
His name might have been Josh already.
And he just gave him his last name?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't know.
That's possible. I don't know.
But he worked as a teacher's aide at Johnson Elementary School and worked part-time for the government as a census worker. And I heard Johnson Elementary School, and I thought that was somewhere rather close. Sounds familiar, but I guess there's like a million of them. There's like, and I looked for them around, and there's like one in every 50 miles. There's a Johnson.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's some everywhere. So I thought, well, maybe it's not the right school. And then I asked the friend I was thinking of, and she's like, not that I've heard of. I'm like, that ain't. Then I pulled up a picture. I'm like, that ain't the right mascot. So there's a different Kentucky Johnson Elementary.
Interesting.
Whatever, yeah. There's many of them.
Another thing that I find interesting is one of his parents was a principal, and he ended up working at a school too.
Yeah, as a teacher's aide. But here's him. As you can see, if you look at this, the program kind of, like, I'm sure this kid doesn't have a mustache or 3 lips.
He might have a mustache. You don't know.
I don't know. And
Braden's got a mustache.
This one's missing an eye. So, I mean, you can.
What do you mean he's missing an eye? Where?
That's like a little bit of his glasses. Like this eye's gone.
I think that's just a glare on the glasses. The only thing that looks odd about it is they have halos around their bodies. Yeah. Like they have auras, like white auras. Unless I'm just seeing auras. And it's not really in the photo. Do you not see a white line outlining them?
This kid kind of has one. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. Okay.
I thought it was my imagination. I thought maybe I had some kind of magical power that nobody else had.
I could see.
I can see auras.
But
they're They're bright white.
Yeah, so that's him as a teacher's aide. It's just wonderful. Seemed like a really nice man. If too nice, I don't know.
Okay.
Never heard anything, but...
Is that foreshadowing?
No rumors, nothing. No. No rumors, nothing. I know, because people normally think if they hear about a middle-aged man, well, in the 50s, single, adopts a little boy, is a Boy Scouts leader, is a teacher at a school, they're going to be like, but I've had no rumors or anything. I couldn't find anything like that.
Okay.
So I think it's just
at least we're not going that direction. I was worried.
No, we're not going that direction. But he went to school online at Western Governors University for a bachelor's degree in education.
Okay.
I actually looked at that school. It's not a bad school. Thought about going there, but they didn't offer my program. But that's where he went to school at online. Kudos to him. It's not easy, let me tell you. But that's Western Governors University, the building.
WGU.
Yep, the actual building. In the teacher education program at WGU, the lady he dealt with the most is Carol Williams. I think coming up later on, she has comments about him and stuff. So I mentioned her now since we're talking about his school.
Okay.
But he graduated in 2008. So, and I mean...
Oh, so this isn't too far off.
No, it's not too far back. In 2000, I can speak. In 2007, he went to a doctor for an ingrown toenail, and the doctor finds a cyst and diagnosed him with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Wow.
Yeah, so just walking in there for a hangnail, got a cancer diagnosis.
It's not a hangnail.
No.
You said an ingrown toenail.
Well,
That's way different than a hangnail. If you've ever had an ingrown toenail.
Yes.
Like one where you had to have surgically removed at a doctor's office?
No, I've removed it myself.
No, you see, that wasn't bad enough then.
Well, I worked in the hospital. No.
I'm telling you.
No, but imagine going in for an ingrown toenail and then find out you have cancer. I don't know what led him to check for cancer. He's like, that toenail looks awful rough.
Something's
I don't get
wrong
it.
with that
I never went in there
toe
for something with my toe, and then the doctor's like, you know what? You got that, your neck's looking funny.
Maybe it was something on the toe.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? I don't know. Maybe he had a lump
Isn't
somewhere.
Maybe.
He says cyst, so maybe there was a visible cyst somewhere.
Maybe.
And the doctor's like, that doesn't look right.
Maybe
Let
it's
me
just,
check it out.
Maybe it was, easily visible.
Mm-hmm. That's very possible because it said cyst. Regardless, it did not slow him down. On September 12th of 2009, around 6:15 p.m., Jerry Weaver of Fairfield, Ohio, was in the area for a family reunion at Daniel Boone National Forest when he discovered the body.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I was wondering why you're talking about somebody who had nothing to do with this yet. And all of a sudden,
that's your hint that
something's about to happen.
Yeah. With Jerry was his wife Connie and the 19-year-old daughter Brittany. And riding 2 cars ahead of them was her parents plus her sister and brother-in-law and their 2 kids. So it's like a family trip, and there's cars. There are multiple cars with them. But a metal gate blocked the road leading to the cemetery, to where they had to cross to get to where they were going.
Okay.
Guess it's like a back road kind of shortcut. I don't know. But Jerry saw that the creek next to the road was dried up, so he decided to chance driving around it.
Mm-hmm.
So they all piled in his father-in-law's black Toyota pickup, filling the cab and the truck bed. They all bailed in it. Jerry had his .357 Magnum on him because I guess in the area when he visited family previously, he saw some sketchy things. So he brought his gun with him this time.
That's what I do when I go to family reunions. I bring my .357 Magnum.
You
never know what's going to pop off at the family reunion.
Right. When Uncle Tim gets some liquor in him. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Uncle Tim. We all got an Uncle Tim.
We do. But Jerry walked on foot behind the truck as it crossed the creek bed. And then suddenly he could hear his wife screaming.
Okay, I got a question because this is just weird.
Yeah.
They all piled up in one truck. What happened to all the other vehicles?
They left him because the other vehicle must have been a car,
Yeah.
And they were worried the car wouldn't make it across.
So they're just going to leave it and just keep going on their trip?
I don't know why everyone got in the truck. I think they got in the truck to get across, and then someone was going to unlock the gate and go get the car and drive it through.
Oh, okay. So that makes it a little bit more...
Yeah, but I don't know why everyone got out of the car and got in the truck, though.
No, that just weighs down the truck.
Yeah. I guess unless that's what they're wanting to do, weigh it down so that it gets across.
For more traction?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's what they did.
Okay.
Leave him be. He's got his gun with him.
I don't know. I just had questions. Anyway.
That's the first you was sitting there. Why do I have to get in the truck?
Why am I getting in that truck?
Just sit in the car.
I'll just wait for you guys to open the gate.
But he ran to her and saw that about 40 yards away is a horrific sight. And it was in Hoskins. Wow, that's hard to say. Hoskins? There's no H. Hoskins. Hoskins. I want to say Hoskins.
Hold on.
Hoskins?
I was going to say it reminded me of Stranger Things, but it's Hawkins, not Hoskins. So
I could have told you that.
I
didn't even Google. But that's where they happened upon a hanging body.
Hanging?
Yes.
Like from a tree?
I don't know. I ain't got there yet. But there's the cemetery just out there in the woods.
Oh, kind of like that weird cemetery you brought me to and I took pictures at.
Yeah, it looks old, very outskirtsy,
like
isolated.
Very close to what we were looking at, actually.
But the cemetery lies hidden about 100 yards off of Arnett's Fork Road. To get to Arnett's Fork Road, you have to drive 2 miles into the forest on Big Double Creek Road. So outsiders say if you come across anyone in these woods, they are up to no good. Like there's nothing out there. There's just that cemetery.
So why is a family reunion going to this weird cemetery?
I think they lived on the other side of the area.
Evidently, if you're going through that cemetery, you're up to no good.
They say if anyone's hanging out in the woods. Like if you come across people and they're sitting there on the side of the road, they ain't up to any good.
I think this family killed him.
Oh, well, I'll get to it.
I think this is a traveling family of
killers.
Killers, and that's where they dumped the body.
But the cemetery is secluded and very difficult to get to. An hour after calling 911, Jerry and his father-in-law meet up with state troopers at the forest ranger station 5 miles away and had to escort the police to the scene. Like that's how isolated this is. It reminds me of like when people climb the mountains and stuff. You have to go down the bottom to get help to find. Yeah, that's what they had to do.
They're like ranger stations.
Yeah. But Kentucky State Police Detective Donald Wilson was at home when the call came. And he wasn't alarmed because suicides were common in that area. Isolated.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of suicides.
It's no big deal. There's a lot of suicides out here.
And this Detective Donald was just 28 years old. So he's a youngin'. So when they called him, he's like, yeah, it happened.
Again?
He arrived at the scene at 8:30 p.m. And the first thing he said was, quote, holy shit.
Well, it wasn't what he was expecting, evidently.
No. Bill's face appeared to be a mess. Blood trickled from his right ear. The detective thought he was bludgeoned because there's blood coming out of his ear. He was gagged, had duct tape over his eyes and neck. His hands and feet were bound with tape. He had the word fed, F-E-D, scrawled across his chest and was hanging naked from a tree.
Well, that's weird.
So that is the one. Yeah. So he was bound up, duct tape, gagged. Someone wrote fed or carved. I don't even know if it's written or carved, cut. Fed in his chest and hung him naked from a tree.
Was he an informant?
I don't know. But a red rag was stuffed into his mouth. And then taped. Yeah. His truck was found nearby with his computer still inside.
Okay, so it wasn't a robbery.
No.
They didn't steal nothing.
The detective noticed that the tape around his feet were tightly wound. But the tape around his wrists were loose and kinked. It had a bunch of kinks in it. So he's like, huh. At 9:30 p.m., 2 veteran officers, Sergeant Tom Atkin and Detective Mike Bowling, arrived at the scene. There was a syringe and an empty vial found about 25 feet from the body, but it could have been left by an addict. Like they said, no one's up to any good out there.
True.
They go out there, shoot drugs in the cemetery. So it could have been.
I wouldn't discount it, though.
Yeah, it could have been left there. But cause of death was asphyxiation and strangulation. The Census Bureau said Bill's death was the first suspicious death of a census worker since 1998. Although a 71-year-old employee was killed by a dog in Nashville, Indiana. Dogs are eating people up there. But police initially thought he was a victim of an anti-government sentiment. They called it an, quote, equivocal death. Equivocal. At first, because the manner of death was unknown.
Okay.
They couldn't tell, he was killed. It definitely wasn't an accident. But, they couldn't figure it out. In an equivocal, I know I ain't saying that right, case cannot be closed until all scenarios are but one, except one. So everything's ruled out but one.
Okay.
So they have to start ruling things out. So Detective Donald went through all his possibilities. There was autoerotic asphyxiation, which would have been the accident. I guess it could have been an accident. Wow.
I don't think so.
That was still a stretch, but he was naked, so I guess he automatically thought autoerotic asphyxiation. I don't know why he wouldn't duct tape himself.
I'm sorry, but I wouldn't go there first.
An elaborate suicide, forcible hanging,
that makes sense.
or a hanging of a body post-mortem. So
Both the last two make more sense.
Yeah, they're trying to see if he was alive when he was hung or if he was already dead.
The last two make the most sense.
However, the more they investigated, the more police uncovered evidence that led them to start thinking in a whole different direction. There was 2 life insurance policies taken out by Bill himself. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He was not eligible for a separate life insurance policy through the government because his census work was intermittent. Kentucky State Police Captain Lisa Rudzinski said a witness told them that Bill also, quote, discussed ending his own life, quote. And had often talked about the, quote, perceived negative attitudes toward federal entities. So, yeah,
That's weird.
DNA evidence shows that Bill was the only person who, quote, handled the key pieces of evidence. The tape, the rope, all that only had his prints on it.
Yeah, but people wear gloves.
And there was no evidence of any other people that were there. The words on his chest were written upside down, which made the officials think that he wrote it looking down because they were flipped.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they thought he wrote it himself. His feet were also touching the ground, so at any point he could have stood up.
Oh.
Yeah, his feet were on the ground, so he could any point. And that's, if Bill would have been killed on the job, his family would have been eligible for up to $10,000 in death gratuity payments from the government. Therefore, the police closed the case as a suicide. But his mother wrote the letter to the Associated Press saying she does not agree with that. But it has been officially closed as a suicide. They're thinking he got some life insurance policies out because he had lymphoma, cancer, and he knew that if, I guess, he died a certain way. That makes
more sense now.
He gets more money, yeah. So he apparently, this was an elaborate suicide. He gagged himself, taped himself.
Who was going to get the money, though?
I don't know. It never said. I don't know if it was for his mom, his son. I just know that, I'm sure non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is not fun to live with. The outcome's not very good. So,
no. Wow.
This was his terms of his planning.
I don't know.
I told you, it was like, what the hell? Gagged himself, taped himself.
Why? Why go through all that?
And hung himself. And I know, and that always bothers me that takes determination. Like at any point you can stand up. Like you have to be willingly not standing up. And I'm like, oh. 'Cause at any point
you have to be letting your weight just do it.
Yeah. But to throw this curveball at you. Someone could have knocked him out, strung him up,
True.
and left him there.
Yeah, and then he wouldn't be trying to stand up.
No, he wouldn't be standing up because he'd be passed out.
He'd be passed out and just dying while he's unconscious.
Yeah, they take off.
Which would make sense why he would have blood trickling from his ears.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, man. We're on you. We hear you, Henry. We hear you.
Head injuries usually have blood coming out of your ears.
The asphyxiation or anything causing the ear bleed.
No,
just kind of mentioned his ear was bleeding. That's all they said. And the detective said he thought he was bludgeoned.
Yeah. Boom. Solved the case.
It was murder, guys.
Now we just got to figure out who did it.
Okay.
Let's go.
That family in the truck.
I'm telling you.
Well, why was Bill out there anyway?
They brought him out there.
In his
truck?
In
the truck.
And Dre drove his truck out there with him?
Think of how big that family was.
Yeah, they all fit in 2 cars.
Yeah.
So why do they need Bill
They drove a
truck?
third.
They just came past him.
They drove a third one out there too. The truck.
Yeah, I can see they can drive, but why? I'm like, what's their motive? They just saw Bill and they're like,
no, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're a fucking crazy ass family who like to kill people.
The hills have eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. But
they got a thing for killing people, and then they're like, let's have some fun with this one. Let's call the cops on it. And
yeah.
Let's have some fun.
Oh, hell. Possible, I guess. It's a sad thing. It is very sad. It's not only sad for the mom who lost her son.
Yeah.
That obviously can't accept that he did it himself, and it's just confusing for her, and it hurts. And that poor kid that just got adopted, got a family, a dad, and then now lost a dad.
That's another thing. How are you going to adopt a kid and then kill yourself?
Well, he adopted him before he found out he had the cancer.
Still, what?
I mean, he could have been. We don't know. He could have been going anyway. He could have been like, the doctor said you got like 3 months. He could be like, I need to set up my son. He could be like, I need to leave him with something.
I guess, but
I mean, we don't
suicide
know the
just takes everything
details.
off the table.
Does it? They don't pay suicide?
No.
But he's trying to make it a murder.
Trying to, but evidently it didn't work out. So he just did that for no reason.
Because I think if he got, I don't know.
He would have had a
dying unexpectedly, he got more money or something.
Well, they said if he died on the job, he would get more money.
Oh, so maybe
that's the whole point of that. But I don't know. I would have just went with the natural death and got because he would have got money for it.
Yeah.
But they find out you killed yourself, money goes away.
Yeah. But it could have been that maybe he was sick, and maybe it would have got to a point where he's like, my mom's old, because he's in his 50s, 51.
Yeah.
My mom's too old to take care of me. My son's too small to take care of me. Soon I will be like bedridden, can't take care of myself. I mean, and I don't want him to see me wasting away like that and rotting. Damn. Yeah. So maybe it was just a thing where he didn't want them to see him like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say what he was thinking, but it's sad.
Oh no, it still doesn't explain the blood coming from the ears.
Yeah, that's true. That is a little.
That makes me think he was hit in the head.
But then again, motive. Who had motive?
Told you.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre family.
Just because it was in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky, you think Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's the middle of nowhere. It's Kentucky. It's a family group driving into an area for no reason. I don't know. Let's go all have a family reunion and drive to this out of the way cemetery that nobody can get to. Makes no sense.
I don't know.
I think they went to an out of the way cemetery so they could string up a body.
I don't think they did.
I think
they just some old country folk try and get to their family relative that lives in the boonies.
No, I think they did it.
Because since he brought his gun, because he said the areas, which means he passes through the area. So I'm thinking maybe they do have family up there, and he's just.
I'm going with the family.
Whatever. But there you go. Case closed.
Case closed.
Ooh. To officially, but not not in some people's opinions. See, told you like the ones that make you think. Oh, there you go. Now I gotta get on there and leave a review.
Now we're gonna have a comment that says he yawns.
Is he sleeping? No, it'd be on me and be like, "Is she boring?" That's what.
Yeah.
It'd come back to me. I'd be like, "That must be my ex commenting on there." But it just comes back to me every time. She falling asleep? She okay? Is she boring him? She have fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no.
She been drinking.
Yep. But there you go. Sad, terrible, sad.
That's definitely a weird one.
Yeah, thoughts out to the poor kiddo. I couldn't find anything
Yeah.
of what happened with him, but thoughts out to him, to Bill's mom, family.
Yeah. I hope the kid's okay.
I hope so. I don't know where he went. I don't know if Henry got him. She's old. Or I don't know if they just took him back to foster care.
Now, it mentions the mom. Was his dad gone?
I assume so, because his dad wasn't mentioned.
Okay.
So if he's in
That's
his 50s,
what I noticed, that
yeah,
they
I
mentioned the
assume the
mom,
dad was no longer here with us. So it was just his mom, just his son, because he didn't have like wife or nobody.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I guess he didn't want his mom and son to see him like that, or I don't know. It's hard to tell, but it's sad all the way around. So thoughts out to them.
Yeah.
Do your end credits.
All right. Well, if you liked the episode or want to hear more from us, like and subscribe. Click the little thingies wherever they are on the screen. Anyway, like and subscribe. Let's see. No, I'm just playing. The website, if you want to check out where we are, video episodes or audio episodes on your services, you can always go to loveandluminol.com and you can find us on all the services. There are probably some that aren't on there. If they're not, just search us on whatever service you like. We're probably there.
Probably.
But yeah, video is definitely YouTube though, and Spotify.
We did have did you ever figure out there's somewhere it still said that it was costing? And you removed it and it wouldn't go away.
So when the service that we use to upload, it has us describe our podcast. And originally we did bonus episodes for a cost, and I put that in the description. I've since removed it, but evidently like Apple and different places haven't updated that bio. So it still mentions it. Ignore it. We don't do bonus episodes for pay.
No. We cheap.
Everything is available for free.
Yes.
So
don't be scared. Don't worry.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat,
no
Threads,
X,
no X or
Twitter, it was.
Whatever it is now. But we're on all the rest of them, especially TikTok. We do TikTok more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. If you want to find us on any of those, it's at Love and Luminol. That's all I got.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.